Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the rainy Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the past continues to haunt the narcissist. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So the past, this is something the narcissist is always running away from. They are always rewriting the past. They don't want you or anyone to know what really happened in the past. And the past will come back to haunt the narcissist day after day, minute by minute, week after week, for the rest of their lives. You see, you can't go through life destroying people's relationships, stealing people's time, stealing people's money, stealing people's health, their focus, their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, without there being a very big price to pay. And that's a price that the narcissist will realize that they will have to pay eventually one day. And again, it's not going to come at the hands of a human being. It's going to come from a power greater than us. You see, the narcissist has to live in their mind. And whereas they want to stay stuck in your mind, living there rent-free, once you've healed, that is not what happens. The narcissist becomes very small, microscopic, if you will, smaller than a piece of dirt below your shoe. And they don't matter. That's when you've healed. But the narcissist will have to stay stuck in their own mind. And the haunting memories and the haunting ghosts and all the experiences and all the relationships they've destroyed will come back to roost in their mind. And it happens way more than you think. Think about this. Again, I've shared this many times in videos. When the narcissist goes to bed, they have to hope that they can fall asleep quickly and that they can distract themselves long enough to fall asleep. And then what happens? Well, then they enter the dreamland, and that's where many of these ghosts come back to haunt them. But it's not only in dreams. It's in reality. You see, once the sun rises and the narcissist wakes up, what do? Of course, they have to check their 3 smartphones to make sure the people that they're trying to keep on the hook are still being strung along. Then what they have to do is they have to look in the mirror and recite back to them whatever memory that they want to portray to somebody today, whatever soundbite they want to regurgitate back to somebody to get a job or to enter a relationship or to have someone loan them money. Whatever script they need to write, they're going to practice that in the mirror. And then the next thing they're going to do is they're going to have to really understand that, wow, a lot of people are really figuring out who I am. My own kids won't talk to me. My ex-spouses want nothing to do with me. My in-laws figured it out. The neighbors are getting wise. My colleagues and coworkers, they're beginning to want nothing to do with me. This is very self-isolating. That's what the narcissist will say. But then again, what will they do? Then they're going to shake themselves back into gear, into now, and they're going to say, oh, okay, I remember what to do. I just need to put on that mask again. And who am I seeing today? Oh, I'm seeing that person, that meeting today at 12. All right, I know what to do with that person. They like to go bungee jumping and skiing, so I'll brush up on my bungee jumping activities and skiing. I'll Google those terms and learn a little bit about them so I can know what to talk about with them, and then I'll close the deal. And then when I come home, I will pepper other people with abuse via the smartphone. Maybe I'll be on dating apps. Maybe I'll be on social media. Who knows? Maybe I'll create some new fake accounts today and get some new unsuspecting people on the hook. This is what I'll do. You see, the narcissist does not live in the present moment. They live for the moment. And I've mentioned that so many times in videos because it's completely true. The narcissist will go any which way the wind blows. If a better opportunity pops up for them, they will seize and grab that opportunity. That's why so frequently when you're in these relationships with these people, you would make plans and the plans would be blown up. Or if it's something that you wanted to do, maybe the narcissist would be late. Or maybe they would go with you and be yawning or falling asleep or on their smartphone. But see, they may have been with you, but they weren't participating or enjoying the event or whatever you were looking forward to going to with them, because they had to ruin it for you. And it wasn't just you. The narcissist ruins every relationship they encounter. Again, go back to their own children, go back to their siblings, their parents, etc. The narcissist is a spoiled person, rotten to the core. There is no substance to them. There's no originality to them. They need to mimic back and steal other people's ideas, hopes, dreams, relationships, goals, and aspirations. And that's what they've been doing. And that's why all of these things will come back to haunt the narcissist. You see, the narcissist can't escape themselves. As I previously mentioned, they're stuck in their own mind. And they can't accept the fact that they're not the most handsome or beautiful person, and that they're not the most intelligent, and that people are figuring out who they are, and that people are going no contact and blocking them and wanting nothing to do with them. Because the word is getting out, and people are starting to realize that what perhaps you were taught when you were a child, many of those things may not apply to present day. Example, what happens in the family stays in the family, or keep the family secrets, or that's just the way they are. Just put up with that. That's just the way they are. Give them a pass. No, those things used to be what we were taught, but not everything we were taught is applicable in present day. That's why you need to understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third, and there should be no room in your life for toxicity, specifically at the hands of a narcissist or anybody, even an energy vampire who's trying to capture your time, energy, and empathy and love, and maybe even your money. But all these things, why these things will come back to haunt the narcissist, it's because they've gone through life to this point, taking anything they could. They were looking for hosts to grab onto so they parasitically could attach themselves to the host and suck all the energy out of them. Now, I share this in so many videos because it's true. And if this is the first video you're consuming, play it a few times. If this is the 10,000th video you're consuming, well, you're here to get your cup full and to top yourself up, and to realize that life is dynamic. Life is always changing and shifting, and what was applicable in the past may not be applicable today. And if you just got a light bulb moment with one of the words or one of the phrases that I've mentioned, now you're understanding. See, you're changing, you're evolving, you're growing, you're becoming awakened and aware, educated and empowered. That's not what the narcissist is doing. What they're doing is fine-tuning their craft and their skills of manipulating and skills of abuse and skills of destruction to get more and more people caught up in that web. This is what they've been doing. They've been spinning that web since time began, and they've been planning and plotting and looking and being envious and jealous from afar, and comparing their lives with other people's lives, and looking at other people saying, wow, I should have what they have. How do they have that fancy car? I'm smarter than them. I should have it. What do I do? Oh, I know what to do. I'll blow up the relationship with one of their friends and I'll get their car. Think about it. This is what the narcissist does. I'm giving you micro examples of how these people live. They're always in competition. They're always blowing up relationships. They're always looking at opportunities. And if any opportunity is presented to the narcissist that will benefit them, they will grab onto it. And they will not do anything other than not thank you for it. They will pepper you with abuse or blame you and tell you why you didn't give them more, or you should have done more, or if you didn't do ABC, they wouldn't have done X, Y, and Z. But all of these things are toxic, and toxicity. And all the toxicity comes from the narcissist. The narcissist wanted to steal your energy. They wanted to capture your beautiful, bright, shining light. And they wanted to use that as a catalyst to propel them to the next leg of their life. And they wanted to dump all their toxicity into you. That's why they would be blaming you. That's why they would be guilting you. That's why it would never be enough. That's why the narcissist can't change, because anybody is replaceable to the narcissist. Friends, colleagues, even their own children. You may say, well, how is that possible? Well, think about it. Think about how the narcissist treats their children. Are they giving them a proper upbringing and raising them properly and teaching them right from wrong and putting rules in place and boundaries? Probably not. They're probably telling them that they'll never amount to anything, or you'll never be as good as me, or why even try and go out for the softball team because you're never going to make it, or why even try to go to university. I didn't go to university and I turned out fine. You see why they would do the last one? It's because they don't want their children to advance and get further in life than they are. This is what the narcissist thinks. They're always looking how they can disrupt and destroy people's relationships, and their children are not immune. Now, all these things I'm sharing, why the narcissist can't escape themselves and why the narcissist will be haunted for all the relationships and all the destruction they've created and blown up, it's because that's their reality. The reality is they did destroy relationships. They destroyed your relationship. They certainly destroyed multiple, probably hundreds of my relationships. But what happened? What happened was you and myself, we found that needle in a haystack, and we got light bulb moments, and we figured out, wow, this was a toxic narcissistic relationship, maybe even worse. At the very least, it was a relationship from hell, and it didn't serve us, and it wasn't what we thought it was. It was what it was. Then we realized and wrapped our head around the fact that we had to heal. We had to slow our life down and stay in that cocoon of boundaries and insulate and protect ourselves. The whole time we were doing that, what was the narcissist doing? That's right, they were off having fun, celebrating, going to parties, whining and dining, dancing it up, doing whatever they're doing, trying to groom new sources of supply. That's what they do. That's what they've always done, and that's what they continue to do. So don't think for a minute that post-narcissistic relationship, that the narcissist's life is going swimmingly, because it's not. What's happening with the narcissist's life is all the memories of the relationships that they've blown up will come back to haunt them, and they will haunt them way more than you think. You know how you get triggered? Sometimes perhaps maybe you listen to a song on Sirius radio or whatever. You'll hear a song in an elevator or walking around, whatever, and that maybe that will trigger you, or maybe it used to. Well, the narcissist can be triggered too. They can be triggered just like you used to be, or perhaps you still are being triggered by an article of clothing, by a word, by the name of a country, by a haircut, by a dish, a food dish, by music, by experiences, by holidays. The thing is, the triggers with the narcissist, they don't affect them the way they affect you. Now, a trigger to you is just that. It's something like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back there. That's not how the narcissist experiences a trigger. They experience a trigger like, wow, I really did have it good this time last year. I was with that person and I had everything. And I took everything I could and I crumbled them up like a sheet of paper and threw them away in the freeway, i.e. I discarded them. And now I've got this new supply, and it's not nearly as entertaining or exhilarating for me because the new supply doesn't have what the old person had, which was you. And then they look at your social media and they'll say, wait, the person I was with last year, which was you, they're actually crushing it. They look great. They're healthy. Their finances are returning. They're living their best life. See, this is what the narcissist will do. So a trigger isn't the same for them as it is for you. For you, it is disruption, and it's not a good thing. That's why you need to continue to focus on yourself. You need to continue to heal, and eventually the triggers will go away. I'm living proof. Believe me, they will dissipate, and eventually they will just be gone. But having said that, the narcissist experiences their own hurdles and hiccups, because when the new supply isn't cutting it, and the new supply never cuts it for a period of time, post love bomb / euphoric stage specifically, and then maybe they discard the narcissist, or maybe they ended it, or maybe they figured it out quicker than you did. Who knows? But the narcissist is always on the run. They will always be haunted by the ghosts in the closet of all the skeletons that they've destroyed and all the relationships they've destroyed. That's why the narcissist can't sit still, because they're always on the go. And whenever they get wherever they want to go, they don't want to be there. They want to be somewhere else. This is why the narcissist has multiple smartphones. This is why the narcissist is crawling all over social media. This is why the narcissist looks at people as weak and frail, and as anybody can be crumbled up and discarded whenever they want to. This is why the narcissist will say things like this to you, and this is not meant to trigger you or upset you, but it was said to me a few times. You ever hear these words? You are dead to me. Think about what that means. That was told to me by somebody I used to work with. And when that person told me that, it was my direct boss at the time, I couldn't wrap my head around what that meant. I actually laughed, and I was like, wow, that's what... Well, back then, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what that phrase actually meant. What it meant was that person is telling me that they're a screaming, raging narcissist, and that they are now discarding me right there. Now, that's what happened, and that's an experience that I processed after time, after getting away from the toxic narcissistic relationship. And I want to mention something. Just because somebody says that doesn't mean they're the narcissist. You need to understand and discern for yourself who is or who isn't. And I don't go walking around the planet looking for narcissists, and that's the last thing I do. I've just focused on myself and healed and looked at relationships that I had since childhood all the way up to present day. And that memory popped up recently, and I couldn't wrap my head around it, but that was a discard at a lunch that I had with the narcissist. And this is a workplace bully / narcissist. And when that person said that to me, I didn't have the wisdom. I didn't know what I was talking about or what they were doing, but they discarded me right then and there. That's what happens. So understand what I'm sharing with you. The narcissist is not only everywhere, but they want to make it appear like they're living their best life, that they have everything going on, but they don't. What the narcissist is doing is juggling multiple relationships at one time, not exclusive to romantic relationships. They could be the people who cut their grass, could be the people who deliver the Amazon packages, could be the person at the coffee shop, could be their friends, could be people in communities, who knows? But the narcissist will never, ever be satiated. What they want to believe is that they're fooling people and controlling people and manipulating people. And all that does come back to roost. And it is a big price for the narcissist to pay when they experience narcissistic injuries, because they get these way more frequently than you know. And if you don't know what that is, it's when the narcissist doesn't get what they want, or somebody actually healed and put themselves back together, or many other things, and they're in disbelief. They can't understand it. How did it not go their way? How did their master plan get foiled? How did their master class of abuse fail? How did all of their grooming and tricking and trapping all fall to the wayside? I'll tell you how it did. Because you are in the community and you're getting the wisdom and you're getting your cup full. And come winter, summer, spring, or fall, you're here, you're getting topped up, and you're understanding that the narcissist will always be around in different shapes and sizes, different ethnicities, different skin colors and sexes and everything. But once you understand what it is and you wrap your head around it and you learn the definitions and the terms in the glossary and the narcissistic abusive cycle, such as gaslighting, triangulation, smear campaign, etc., once you understand these things, now you become insulated. You become stronger than you ever thought possible. And that's when you wrap your head around, oh my gosh, this has been around me my whole life. I just didn't know it. Maybe even your immediate family members were toxic, who knows? But now you get the message, and now you insulate and protect yourself. Now your circle has become really small. Now you've gone no contact with the narcissist and probably other people that you used to surround yourself with in other relationships. And now you don't overshare information. Now you vet people before you spend a minute with them. Now you watch and observe people's words to match up with their actions. And now you can identify toxicity in a split second. You can know how to be treated, and you know what is tolerable and what isn't. But the narcissist will continue to try to zoom and fly around all over the globe. They're looking for new people that they've never ever met, or recycle people that they have broken them many times and they haven't got the message yet. And they will continue to use and abuse these people. Think about this. How many times did the narcissist go back to a former source of supply? Either when you were in the relationship or when you were out of it? Well, they probably did it way more than you knew. Why do you think that was? I'll tell you why it was. Because the new supply, or the new old supply, the person who they went back to multiple times, because that person was either caught up in the trauma bond, or they didn't get the message and they didn't find that needle in a haystack like you did. And they're still stuck and still pining and thinking about the narcissist, and they're still giving them opportunities thinking that they will change, etc. That's not what you're doing. Maybe you did that in the past once or twice till you finally cracked the code and got the message. But that's not what you do any longer. You see, these relationships, the door needs to be slammed airtight. It needs to be slammed shut. It needs to be super glued, gorilla glued, if you will, and closed forever. Because that chapter of your life is over. And it took a mountain of work for you to put yourself back together. While you were healing, the narcissist was simply going off looking for other people to take advantage of. But that's why many people questioned you. Many people thought you were the bad person in the relationship because you went off the grid while the narcissist was out living their best life. Well, that's what the smear campaign was supposed to instill in all the toxicity that the narcissist was dishing out. Meaning the narcissist was probably playing the victim or saying that you're the one that had problems and challenges. And when you went off the grid, it was to heal. It was to focus on yourself. And then you rose through the ashes like a phoenix and you put yourself back together. That's something the narcissist never thought you would do. And those things, of you putting yourself back together and all the toxicity the narcissist dished out, those are the things will come back to haunt the narcissist for the rest of their lives, because they will be in disbelief that you did it, that you conquered it, that you beat the relationship, you broke the trauma bond, you severed the four ties, the emotional tie, the financial tie, the physical tie, and the spiritual tie, and now you're living your best life. And now you can take a class, teach a class, read a book, write a book, you can do whatever you want to do, as long as it isn't with a toxic person. That's why you've changed. That's why you've elevated. That's why you see the world through a different set of eyes that most people can't wrap their head around. And that's why the narcissist will be haunted forever. Now, before I close the video, I just want to share, don't think for a moment that the narcissist is thinking about you or that relationship that frequently, because they're not. They're too focused on staying one step ahead of the new supply and the new supply, and figuring out who to manipulate and take from. That's what they're doing. Their everyday life is nothing but a ball of confusion. It's a house of cards. It's a 3-card Monte game. It's the shell game. And they never know which direction when someone's going to wake up and figure it out and call them out or ask them for the money that they took, etc. So no, they're not thinking about you the way you may be thinking. But every once in a while, they will be thinking. They'll be comparing sources of supply. And that's when they'll be haunted. That's when they'll say, oh my gosh, I had the best thing in my life, which was you, and I blew it. And I blew that relationship up just like I blow every relationship up. And guess what? Now I'm stuck in my tiny little mind, and I've got to go somewhere else, and I've got to try and groom someone else when I don't want to, and I've got to try and manipulate someone else and hope that they have deep pockets or they can put a roof over my head, or I can fool them to do A, B, and C. You see, but that's what fuels the narcissist. It's right here, right now. It's what have you done for me lately? It's all about supply. Once you get your head around that and you wrap your head around and get the message that the narcissist doesn't care about anybody but themselves, that's when you really, really get the message. It's time to go no contact. If not now, when? You need to get away from these people as far as you possibly can, because they will not change. They will never improve. They will never be introspective. They will never be accountable. And they will always try to throw other people under the bus. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And this, I hope you like the background, the setting, because this is a beautiful Carolina afternoon with mild rain falling down, and you can see the foliage behind me changing. Absolutely amazing. I just want to share with you, remember, some days it will be rainy like this day. Some days it's going to be overcast. Some days it's going to be foggy. Some days the sun is going to be shining super bright. But each and every day, the sun will rise. And each and every day is a new opportunity to learn, to grow, to teach, to become awakened and aware, and become educated and empowered. And this is your time. So no matter if it's raining, snowing, hailing, sleeting, or if it's a beautiful sunny day, maybe you're at the beach consuming this video, wherever you are, realize that that is where you're supposed to be. And if there's more healing to be done, continue on the path, continue focusing on yourself, and continue moving forward each and every day. If you're healed and you're in a great space, well, you should really, really look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did it. I made it. I'm a fighter. I'm an empath. I'm beautiful. I'm abundant. And I beat the cycle. And I'm the generational curse breaker. That's why you are on the channel, because you understand that you were almost taken down for the count, but you weren't. And so that's why you're here. I love you all. God bless you. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.